Right. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me today. I am Denise Lang with Develop the Magic. I appreciate you taking the time this afternoon to learn about the Core Framework program that is the key launch product for Develop the Magic. This has been a project that has been somewhat near and dear to my heart for a while. And I am so excited to finally be bringing it to the table and to help other folks level up their professional development opportunities. So I will, there we go. So a little bit about me to start. I actually have a bachelor's degree in sociology. I have been in the travel industry since 2007. So coming up on, gosh, what is that? 20, I can't even math today. It'll be 16 years this fall. Thanks, Lisa. It's like, I can't math.
I can't math. I can't math either.
And then so I had started with another agency that was Disney focused, and then had gone out and started Reach for the Magic Destinations, which is an authorized Disney vacation planner agency, back in 2015. So coming up on 8 years with that. My career path does include a variety of things, which certainly does shape what I do, and I think we do as travel advisors, especially as travel agency owners. We, in both roles as agents and owners, we are offering sometimes therapy or our version of therapy, support, encouragement, obviously professional development, guidance. So it's a wide range of things that, and my background supports that. So I do have a background as working as a sexual assault victim services advocate. I've also worked as a probation agent for several years, supervising some high-risk offenders, and also then worked at the same nonprofit that I worked as an advocate for as their volunteer manager. I managed their volunteer program. So between those three positions, I have assisted with an SOP guide, 2 different positions, created a training program for, we actually had volunteers that would respond to victims at the hospital. So created a training program for them, served as a mentor. With each of these positions, as well as owning and operating a travel agency, I've also managed to do all this while having to walk the fine legal lines that are in existence through all sorts of things. So I've got experience with sensitive topics. I love to be transparent. I love to be a seeker of the truth, and handle all of those things with respect and responsibility. So for those that know me, I am slightly obsessed. They will agree. I'm slightly obsessed with personal and professional development. And it is, yes, that's right. It is one of those things that I believe that just as a human, we can always keep learning, and every day should be learning something new. So that is the spirit that is behind Develop the Magic. So why? Why do this? I have talked with owners over the years. I will say, when I first started out, I won't ask for a show of hands, but I know that I have several owner colleagues that is their experience. I started out at an agency that said, go do that mouse magic program that they have and then figure it out. There wasn't much beyond that College of Disney knowledge that was shared. And for me, that worked, but that doesn't work for everybody. And in talking with other owners, also the realization that sometimes we struggle with agents who are having difficulty moving into that business mindset. And so that is really where I had started to hone my program for my agency. And the agency that I had started with, eventually I I created their training program. And so I take a look at it every year and make updates. Guess what? Currently the core framework program is better than what I'm offering my own agents because I haven't moved the core framework program over to my own agents. So, because when I do something, I can't just give you what I have. I got to make it better. So I'm so excited about that. And ultimately, this is meant for you to empower your agents, support your agents, and help them thrive, which then will make your agency thrive. So ultimately, as an owner, you are the person I'm speaking to. We have so many duties as owners. If you don't have a program, I'd love to help you get one. Ease that overwhelm. Save the time, because it takes a lot of time to pull all this together, to think about what do I want to include? What topics might I be missing? And so if you right now, if you think about your training program, and I'm going to call it an onboarding program, because there's a bit of a distinction there, with independent contractors versus employees. But if on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being, you're singing, up into the clouds, how do you feel about your onboarding program? If it's less than oh, thank you for your vulnerability, Lisa. I appreciate you. And I appreciate you being truthful about it. If it's, in my opinion, if it's less than an 8, I mean, I don't know that I could ever say that I have a 10 because I always want to be, learning more. And that's just my personality. But if it's not an 8, 9, or 10, are you helping your agents, especially your new agents, get off with the right, start off their journey in this travel career with a solid foundation? And it is easy. All the suppliers have their trainings. We can talk about supplier trainings and if they're good, if they're not, and their efficiency and do they help people learn the product, or do they help them actually use the product and sell the product? We can talk about that all day. But outside of that, what is being provided? And so to be able to provide a basic framework outside of that supplier training to your agents can obviously help build their confidence. It's also hopefully going to help them get into that business mindset earlier than perhaps what we have seen in the past. That has been my experience as I've shifted in how I present my pieces. So this is really ultimately, if you've got agents who are feeling supported, who are feeling encouraged, who are being given professional development opportunities, they hopefully will obviously be very successful, but they're also going to stay with you because of the things that you're providing. So the core framework program has 9 modules in it. These are the titles of each of the modules. You can, I'm going to talk about it now. Depending on how you have your agency set up and how you take care of your onboarding program, the way that I currently set up is I actually offer my agents a training contract that they have to complete within 90 days before they are receiving the independent contractor agreement from me. And so that is how I work it. They are specifically supposed to be doing training, and that does include supplier training, depending on what they're starting with. So for some agencies, if you wrap up your onboarding as part of, the independent contractor agreement, that is something that you're going to want to work with your legal team to figure out how you can, because we obviously do have some limits on what we can require independent contractors to do. But I start out a little differently, and that was an idea I got from another owner, because we're all about collaboration here, is I start off with an orientation. I go through fundamentals, operations, and management. I'm going to get into some topics on these next. But I cover all of these things. And lastly, I include a short segment on taking care of you. Do we talk to our agents regularly about boundaries, about stress management? These are some of the things that that I think can also help with the longevity of somebody developing a career in travel. So client experience, sales process, all of these things, there's a bunch of different pockets in each one. I think when I counted it up this morning, the Canva option has over 140 slides out of the 9 modules, and that doesn't include title page. And that happens to be the Canva option. That is where it's separated out a little bit differently, obviously, than if you would choose the Google document option. So core framework, and here is a sneak peek at some of what it looks like. On the left, the 2 sales process and job description, those are actually screenshots of the Google document option that's available. There are pieces in here for you to put your own information. That orientation module, guess what? The first half of it is about your agency. I can't fill that in for you because I don't know what your mission and vision and values are. I don't know what the culture of your agency is, but you do. And so it offers the opportunity. You want to be very upfront and transparent with agents as they're coming on. You get to include those things in there. If you need help figuring it out, let me know. We'll do that. I will do that with you. Okay. So there are pieces within here that are very plug and play that you'll see. It is highlighted in yellow text. You can't miss it when you go into the Google documents, right? Just below that is a very, I'll just say plain Canva presentation sheet that has the agency history on there. And that is literally for you. Enter your logo, enter your history, talk about why you started the agency, tell the story. These are all things to help you tell the story of your agency so you can have your agents not only get hooked into the culture that much faster, but they're getting that buy-in into, wow, this is, you know, it is the, I think we all start with, I just want to help everybody make magic. I want to help them make memories, which is totally at the heart of what we do. But there is actually a process, and hopefully you have a mission, vision, and values laid out for them. So on the right, you will see the professional growth and development. That is the title page. All of these, especially within the Canva documents, you receive the Canva, you receive a link for each module. So you can go in and brand this to your agency. You can add your colors, add your own, you know, you want to use a different photo, you can plug and play and use a different photo. You want to add in a page, a slide that, you know, covers something additional or the way that your agency addresses that, you can do that. You can essentially, if you wanted, pick and choose. But this is a sample of some of the pages, the slides that are included. And again, information is across both the Google document option and the Canva option. Here is another page. I've put bubbles on so you can't fully see all the content, but you can see what is included in there. So several of the modules have some exercises at the end for them to reflect on and do. It's also a great opportunity for you to add, if you've got specific exercises you would like them to do, you could add them in there. We talk about creating the brand of you. Annual marketing review questions. How often do we look back at this stuff? We don't, you know, I mean, I think it's something that unless you hear about it from somebody else, or you're participating in some type, sometimes these things always don't come up. And so if you can get your agents thinking about, okay, I need to be thinking about this annually. Whether you do this as a team or you just do a reminder or you leave it to them on their own to do, here's some questions to think about. What worked this last year with marketing? What didn't work? Did I invest money or time into something? And what was the result? Where are my how many referrals did I have this year? How many of those booked? Where are people referring me from? Identify those VIP clients so you can love on them some. Confidentiality, talk about client safety, safety of data, but also their information. Clients are obviously, I think for most of us, we think billing information right away when we think, client data safety. But there are times that we are also going to be given private health information or some other type of information related to that family that we have no business sharing with other people. It's unethical to do so, but I think sometimes people don't think about that. And so hopefully this program is something that your agents will be like, oh, I never thought about that. And I will say when I first put my program together, there's so many things that just seem so second nature that you don't think to share about with your agents. And so some of these things, that's actually how most of the time something ends up in the program. Oh, I didn't even think to share that. So there's also information about language, obviously being cognizant of any type of information about copyright laws, nomenclature, those types of things. Tool examples. There's a podcast suggestion list. And we're going to go to the next page here. This is actually some of the, within the modules, these are some of the topic samples that are in there. There's a hashtag list for travel. Some people don't need that. Other people do, right? Talking about financials. There's no like tax recommendation or advice in here. The recommendation is obviously to seek a tax professional, which is what I'm assuming you would share with your agents. That is, but opening up a checkbook, like get a checking account for your business. What types of are you tracking expenses? Track those monthly, that type of thing. So Lisa, go ahead.
So, and this is all, you've already built this out. So this is not something that we provide. I mean, I understand like with the other stuff, like this story of our mission statement and that, obviously that's generated by us, but this is actually stuff that you provide, like here are time management best practices. And that is amazing.
Thank you. I'm a big believer in the heart of business. So there's a section about why do you get in this? And I encourage agents to develop their own mission, vision, and values. They can be inspired by and borrow yours as an agency owner, but hopefully they develop their own. Time management, how to set boundaries. It's okay to say no to clients, but also how do you set boundaries with your family or with yourself? What to include in a quote, back, 16 years ago when I started. I look back on those early quotes. Every once in a while, I pull one out just to look at it. I look back and I think, whoa. I knowing that, and it's not just making sure that the fine print is there, but it's how are you displaying that information, making sure that it's, even a checklist going over after you prepare a quote. Do you have these items? If you don't, you need to have that. Client care is customer service. How do you love up on clients? Testimonials, following up with leads, various marketing methods from business cards to presentations to vendor events. There's also a section, well, I put social media as its own module because it is its own beast, right? And so there's philosophy in there, but also like, you know, again, hopefully you don't have to spell it out for everybody, but I think many of us have had the circumstance where we've had to be like, oh, you actually can't talk about what you're doing just willy-nilly in Facebook groups. That's, you know, you want to follow the group's guidelines for each group that you're in, or how to best share. There's lots of ideas on, you know, how to prepare your content, how to approach content, goal setting. That's an area that many of us, even as owners, we struggle with sometimes too. So I love to do that as an activity workshop with my team. Mindset. Celebrating your wins. That's actually the very last thing in that module, is celebrating your wins, because we don't take the time to do that so often. So that is essentially the sneak peek behind the scenes of it. So ultimately you can use this, the core framework program, as a foundation for brand new agents that you've got coming on board. You could update it and add it to your current offerings that you are, and essentially meld it together with what you are currently offering. You could also, let's say you have something, or you get this, okay, I've got this for new agents, but what about the agents that I already have? They could use some brushing up on qualifying a client, or how to best prepare your financials, check your, keep track of your expenses. Maybe you want to use these as professional development opportunities for your existing agents. So the sky is sort of the limit with that. So right now there are 2 options available. You can choose the Google Documents option. For that, depending on how you have your onboarding or training program set up, I know some people are using Dropbox. They can download that and just add the PDFs into Dropbox. You might want to copy that information into your current learning management system, depending on what you're using. And then there's also the Canva slides option. So this, you will, both of these, you're going to get a document that you will then click the link and download, or you can save into your Canva. You can, again, change any of these. You can add your own branding, your own logos. If you don't like the graphic that I have in there, you can swap it out for something, or change the color of the graphic, whatever font you would like to use. But then you can either download those PDFs, save them to Dropbox if you want, add them to your current learning management system, or you could share them as the presentation, or perhaps record as a presentation with your additional thoughts, if that you can be having behind the scenes. There are no videos in here. It is essentially print documents. And that is because it's a framework. And I want, for those that really want to have that personal addition to it, I think that's a great option for you to do in addition to this program. So it's a well-rounded option. So, all right. How much is it? Introductory pricing is $495. And if you purchase by next Friday, March 25th, you are going to get a free bonus. I have a 3-page document, a new product that was just added as well this week, called Travel Professional Types. It's currently priced for $20, and if you use the coupon code LAUNCH, it will take $20 off to make that free. And the travel professional types this is a document that I came up with after talking with other owners about, I've got agents who are hobbyists. It's the hobbyist versus professional type of mindset. And so it identifies 4 travel professional types, from super fan, hobbyist, professional advisor, professional business owner. Because as independent independent contractors, they are their own business owners. And so what are the differences between those? This is an awareness tool that I created for my team to help them see where they're at, as well as to identify where they might want to go. And what types of behaviors and characteristics do each one have? So it is a 3-page document. The first page is essentially a graphic. And then the second page goes further into the characteristics. And then the third page is things to consider, questions to ask yourself. How much time are you willing to dedicate to this business? Seems pretty straightforward, but we all know they think they're going to be able to dedicate 20 hours a week when they first start. And then life happens and they're like, I didn't have time for that. And so this is also a great tool, not only to share with new agents coming in, but to actually do perhaps an awareness exercise with your current agents to say, am I comfortable with where I'm at? All of these types help make a travel agency go round. They all do. Hopefully we have people falling more under the professional advisor and professional business owner type, but each of these 4 types do certainly help make things happen for the agency. So that is available. Coupon code is launch if you purchase by midnight on March 25th. And that is it. Questions?
I'm just really excited about this. I think you described everything really well. I'm sure I'll have questions later on, but this is great.
Okay. Well, thank you. My contact information is on here. I think most of us on the call are connected through social media, so you're certainly welcome to reach out to me that way. Otherwise, thank you for your time. Feel free to get in touch with questions. If you have specific things that you want, to ask about particular topics or whatnot, I'm happy to discuss. So thank you and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you.